Right. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope no one is sick with the coronavirus, and I hope you guys are not too scared. After all, it's a virus. I don't care if they say it's really deadly or not. It's still a virus, and the law of the jungles always apply. The strong will survive, and unfortunately, the weak will die. That's how sickness works every single time. But let's get to boxing, right? Let's get to the boxing stuff. How is boxing going to react to this new way of things where everybody fears to be, in a gathering, an audience where there's going to be, where it requires a lot of people um, to fill up these venues, to pay these athletes, to pay these promoters? What are these promoters going to do? They got to find a way to make the money to pay these fighters because I don't think fighters are going to want to take a pay cut. I don't think Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are going to want to take pay cuts to fight each other in a rematch, right? One of those guys are going to be like, no, I'm not down with that. I want to get paid top money. And if you can't fill up, an arena uh, and make money off of that so you can pay your fighters or pay-per-view events, remember pay-per-view events are something you and your friends get together and you guys all chip in. That's mainly what it is. Or you go watch it at a bar. But now that this whole pandemic, this in my opinion, this whole overreaction, people are gonna, even when this is done, they're gonna fear being next to other human beings. Boxing has a huge problem. A lot of sports do, but especially boxing has a really big problem on their hand. You already heard. Uh, I didn't check out the whole thing, but it doesn't look like Teofimo Lopez is interested in fighting Lomachenko with no audience. I don't think he's interested because the financial side of it, and I don't blame him. That's not ducking to me. I'm sure Lomachenko wants to get paid too, and so does Teofimo, right? These guys want to make their money. I can't blame them, right? They're going in there to entertain, risking the chance of getting embarrassed and losing a fight. They want to be compensated for it. Not a problem for me. And so when I hear Teofimo say he's not, you know, I got to read the whole article, but basically not interested in a fight with no audience, I really can't blame him, right? These guys do what they do so they can perform in front of people. All right, they're entertainers at the same time. Yes, they're great athletes. They do what they do, but they want to make money and they want to entertain. They want to fight in a setting that they train for, not in no fucking no audience because you know the world's been convinced that you get this virus you're gonna die. Everybody's just gonna die. Oh, what if I give it to somebody and they die? Right? If that's the case, I'm sure a lot of these guys are going to want to do something else. They want to be well compensated. They want to train for what they do is to entertain in front of people. There's a lot of stuff to cover here before boxing gets back up and running again. There's this optimistic talk on YouTube, and I'm part of it too. I hope it's true that boxing is going to come back real strong in the second half. I'm not too sure about that. All right, I'm not too sure about that. You might get some little fights where people might fight in an empty arena or an arena that can only fill up 30% of its capacity, some shit like that, right? But you're not going to get the big fights, the real big ones, in that type of setup. unless you know, willing to take a hit. You know, you willing to pay out of pocket and pay these guys and not make anything in return. You know, I mean, like zero, nothing at all. And I don't think, I just don't think that big time boxing business is ready for that. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna plan ahead. But when they see that it's hard to make some of the money they want to make to, uh, you know, make these big fights, the kind of money they would need, I think they're gonna end up, you know, they're gonna end up canceling a lot of these fights. Is what's gonna happen, right? And then you got in America, at least in America, about 30 million people, 30 million plus people lost their jobs. So everybody's a little afraid. Across the world, I'm sure a lot more people lost their job. It requires money to buy pay-per-view, to go out with your boys and go watch it at a bar, if a bar even allows you to do that, right? If assuming that there's any bar that's going to reopen, with the way people are so afraid, right? Even when this whole thing's opens up, people are going to be afraid to be around each other. So it might take some time. You might be, you know, you might be in for a rude awakening, seeing that a lot of fights are not going to get done till like maybe a year or two from now. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I really hope that I am wrong, but if this hysteria keeps up the way it is, I cannot see how whenever, you know, whenever the world reopens, whatever the fuck that means, right? How people are going to trust to be around other people. How the economy is just going to, you know, kick right back up to what it used to be. We'll probably have a new economy, which means that a lot of people are going to have to get used to that, including boxers, athletes, and especially when it comes to boxing, there might be a lot of athletes that are not down with that because they're used to getting paid a certain way. So you might hear a lot of no's in the beginning. Nah, I'm not interested in fighting my toughest fight ever in front of no audience, a limited amount of, you know, revenue sharing, pay-per-view sharing. No, I'm not interested in that. You might get a lot of no's in the beginning. So boxing is, you know, I do not believe that when things reopen again, the economy reopens back for business, I don't think it's going to be as easy as that. There's going to be I believe there's going to be a lot of changes, and that means that athletes are going to have to get used to getting paid in a certain way, which more likely means some pay cuts. And you're not going to convince them in the beginning to be down with that. That's going to take some time. Anyway, that's my video.